Alright, so for breakfast I made this aloo gobi kind of mishmash here. So it's this potato, cauliflower, some spices, and that's gonna go in the Instant Pot recipe book as well. So we're just trying to pound out these recipes. There's only about 5 left that I have to make and 6 photos that we have to take, and then the book's pretty well done. Another little tip is to use these pot covers. So instead of using like saran wrap or that Glad press and seal stuff, you can reduce a lot of your waste just by using these silicone covers. By covering these, you can put them in the fridge. Next order of business here is the water kefir. So it's actually doing a lot better. The first couple times that you try to brew the water kefir, the grains aren't really gonna produce very well just because the grains need to be revived. And this mixture here, I took some organic evaporated cane juice, which is just sugar, and mixed in a tablespoon of molasses. And I've been letting this ferment for 2 days. Something that I should mention is that I actually read the instruction on the Posy Mum website for the water kefir grains, and that you're not supposed to use filtered water. You should either use spring water or you want to use boiled water. So yesterday I just boiled about 1.5 liters of water, let it cool down, poured into this mason jar, and so this is going to be ready to make the next batch of water kefir. So what you want to do when you're changing the grains over to a new, some new solution is you want to take obviously your finished kefir product, you want to take a strainer and then just pour it through the strainer. Then you usually have some grains left over. You can either just rinse them out, or you can rinse them, or you can just put some water in here and then just pour it through the strainer again, but just over the sink. So you got 2 options that you can do there. So this is the boiled water. It's obviously it's cooled down. It was made, boiled it yesterday. So just about 1/4 cup of the brown sugar. You just only need about a tablespoon of molasses. I just kind of eyeball it. You want to take either a plastic or a wooden spoon to stir this around. Take the grains in the strainer, just add them back in here. Then take your coffee filter, put it back on. Then just let this brew for 24 to 48 hours, and that's it. Behind the scenes of Hannah making her hash browns. How are they going?
Fine.
Yeah?
Just fire alarm off again a couple times.
You what?
I set the fire alarm off again a couple times.
That's alright. I'm clearly going for a bike ride right now. Just gonna do a couple laps around Saguaro, take her nice and easy, and enjoy the beautiful day out.
You bring me comfort to my soul. You bring me comfort to my soul. Give me such a high. You bring me comfort to my soul. You bring me comfort to my soul. Give me such a high. You bring me comfort to my soul. You bring me comfort to my soul.
Oh man, what a beautiful, beautiful day out here today. Oh, it's so good to get out and to get the fresh air, and perfect. Tucson is one of the best places to live during the winter time in the United States. If you're into outdoor activity, there's lots of hiking and cycling and mountain biking, and it's incredible here. What I was just thinking about on the bike today is like, why do I come out and ride my bike? And especially, why do I push myself a lot on the bike despite the fact that I'm not training for anything. There's no carrot out in front of me like really pushing me to improve my health and fitness on the bike. Like, I'm not training for a race, there's no team that I want to be a part of. I really only have one kind of like simple goal for cycling, and that's to ride about 200 kilometers per week. And that doesn't mean like I'm going out there trying to build my fitness or trying to hit a certain watts per kilo over a certain period of time. The goal is mainly just to get out and to ride my bike as much as possible and to have a good time as well. That's really it. This is just one activity that I just really enjoy so much in my life. I get to go out, I get to explore, see amazing new places, and I get to do it with the freedom of a bicycle. Bicycles, I think, give you a tremendous amount of freedom, especially when you're traveling, just because you don't need a driver's license. You can bring it on a plane with you. I think it's one of the best inventions in the world, in my opinion. And I just feel so blessed and so grateful that I get to be in a place like Tucson, because this place is so amazing for cyclists. You got Mount Lemmon over there. I'm in Saguaro National Park, and the bike lanes are great in the city. And the amount of riding that I typically do when I'm living in a city is really dependent on the landscape and the weather. Like, the landscape and the weather here in Tucson is amazing for cycling. And so for me to come out and do a couple hundred kilometers per week isn't asking very much, because I just love coming out here and doing it so much. And I think it's really important to have activities like that in your life where you can just do it on a consistent basis, and there isn't necessarily like an outcome or a goal that you're working towards. It's just something that you really just enjoy doing. Like, I'm usually trying to improve my fitness on the bike, but there's no major goal or anything like that. I'm just out here just for the hell of it, really. And for you, that could be drawing, that could be painting, that could be running, it could be walking or hiking. It could be any activity, or cooking even. It could be any activity that really just gives you a lot of joy. And I think a really important part of life is to find those activities that you just love so much and try to do them as much as possible. And just doing them as much as possible just for the enjoyment of doing it. I don't have anything else to say. I'm gonna finish doing one more lap around here. I'm gonna ride home, and then I think we're taking the dogs out for a puppy walk. See you, buddy. Alright, I just worked my ass off past Tommy D. Now he's gonna come past me again. Yeah.
How are you? You know Tom, right?
I know who he is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I was just making sure.
How's it going?
All right, so that was super cool. So I just got to talk with Tom for about 15-20 minutes or so, and really nice, humble pro cyclist, but he runs this awesome cycling camp here in Tucson, Arizona. Anyways, time to get home. It's 4 o'clock, and I think there's still enough time to take the dogs down to the dog park. All right, so the bike ride is finished and just had some dinner. So I did about just over 72 kilometers on the bike, and it was very cool meeting a pro rider. But definitely the most important thing is what I was talking about earlier, is doing more things, obviously, or spending more time with the things that you really enjoy in your life. And that's really where kind of like living a minimalistic and simple life, where you're really kind of like cutting down on your expenses, it allows you more freedom to spend that time that maybe you would have to spend working, or maybe working like a second job. You could spend that time, doing those activities that you really enjoy doing. And then just randomly you can, meet a really cool professional rider. Like, I've been doing this for such a long time, it seems now. Like, when I was living in Vancouver, I was working at a minimum wage job, and I was only working 20 or 25 hours per week. But it was during that time I got to ride my bike so much in and around the Vancouver area, which was really awesome, just because I love spending so much time on the bike and just riding around and exploring and venturing. Like, it's really enjoyable, and that's a lot of fun for me. All right, let's see what Hannah's doing. Bubba's passed out. Dewey has commandeered my spot on the bed, and Hannah's just over there chilling.
Potato on! It's day 7 tomorrow.
Day 7. Holy, 1 week. All right, do you want to say bye?
Peace!
Peace. Close enough.